My name's Barry Gamble. Just a few of you I've met before, most of you I've not, so just let me give you a tiny little bit of background. I live in Devon, I live on the border with Cornwall, so I live in England according to the Cornish, but when I talk about Cornish, I include West Devon because the system of Cornish mining at the time included West Devon and West Devon mines, from which many of the miners in Moonta came from, including Captain Hancock, 20 minutes from my home, was actually from Devon. So when I say Cornish, I mean Cornwall and West Devon. My mother, her maiden name was Payne, P-A-Y-N-E, and my grandmother's maiden name was Snell. They were from mining families. They came out to Australia in the 1850s. I've only just found out since 2019 that 6 mining brothers actually went to Ballarat in the goldfields. All our family members that came to Australia all stayed, none came back. But I'm only just sort of finding out about my family history. I do have family somewhere in South Australia, but my mother talked to them, but I don't know where yet, but my wife's doing this work. Why am I here? I've been coming here for 21 years now, on and off, missing a few years, but it was 21 years ago that I first talked with the State Heritage Branch in Adelaide of the government about the possibility of World Heritage for Burra and Moonta. Why did I come here? It's because I was writing the Cornish Mining World Heritage Site bid for the UK government at the time. It was a 2-year, I've been freelance since 1992. That was my first nomination. Holly mentioned 22 nominations. Thankfully all successful so far, 15 different countries. I'm working on 3 for Australia at the moment as the advisor. I'm not the decision maker, I'm kind of co-authoring, but I'm the advisor. And that's this one here, which is Australian Cornish Mining Sites, Burra and Moonta. I'm also working for the for Heritage Victoria, the Victorian government, on the Victorian goldfields, and I also work for the Trades Hall in Melbourne, the Victorian Trades Hall in Melbourne, and the Trades Hall in Broken Hill. Those are 3 separate World Heritage nominations, and I'm the advisor on those. It's an independent role, it's advising, not decision making, but I've done 22 of these now, and they've gone well, so consequently, that combined with writing the Cornish Mining World Heritage Site, that's why I'm here helping you, giving advice. So I would say we were inscribed in Cornwall in 2006, so we became a World Heritage Site in 2006. In 2007, I had the role from the UK government to introduce the possibility of those, because UNESCO brought it up that, yes, it's great, you had high pressure steam in Cornwall and you developed this hard rock mining, but then you went somewhere with it. And at the time I first came here, 2004, Burra and Moonta were the best places in the world to show that transplant of not just technology, but of culture as well. So we were looking at Burra and Moonta, a few other sites in Australia. We're looking at New Zealand, we're looking at Mexico, South Africa, but particularly O'Keepe in South Africa, near the Namibian border, Michigan, in the US, particularly California, in the US. We were looking at Spain, Ireland, Isle of Man, a whole load of places where the Cornish went with their technology and their culture. And the determination, it was not just I was doing all the field work and contributing, but there was a panel in Cornwall of so-called experts, and the determination was, from all that evidence, that Burra and Moonta was the leading place in the world to show that transfer of technology and culture. Then, so in 2007, I did a presentation in New Zealand, and Australia was one of the countries that said, we are interested. I'd already had a signal from South Australia that there was interest, and then requirement from the Commonwealth government was that, yes, you've got 2 state heritage areas already listed, so you're already protected, the law was already in place for all that sort of thing, but it had to be nationally listed to go forward. So 2010 was when the national listing process started. So national listing was done for both Burra and Moonta independently, because that's the law, you have to independently list them, but they were put forward together. And that's how Australian Cornish Mining Sites came about, Burra and Moonta. I got a call in 2017 to say, oh, your sites in South Australia are nationally listed. I'd almost forgotten that was going through the process, 7 years, but I was told that was quick for Australia. So 2017 was the national listing. I came out, I was busy with 4 other nominations. I came out in 2019 and started work with Goyder Council in where you've got the Burra State Heritage Area. I was contracted by Goyder Council to look into the feasibility of making a nomination. So again, I'd already been there kind of, but some people had changed, others not. And then Goyder took the lead, and I came out to Copper Coast, and both Copper Coast and at both places, the National Trust came with the idea that, yes, we would still be interested to take this forward. So I had community meetings. I was back in the Wesleyan Methodist Chapel at Moonta Mines today. I've been going in and out of there for a very long time now. I remember giving community presentations there back in, between, let's say 2008 and 2013, 14, 3 or 4 of them, and I've been doing the same at Burra. But let me just take you back to a few key milestones. You're probably aware of these. The biggest one was last year, September last year, when you became on Australia's tentative list to UNESCO. A tentative list to UNESCO is a signal by the Commonwealth government, submitted by the state, that Australia is considering putting forward Burra and Moonta to UNESCO for the World Heritage List. It's one they were confident in doing, both the state and the Commonwealth government, because you're already state heritage listed, national heritage listed. So all your protection and controls are in place. So there's no new layer in terms of legislation or anything like that. The signals, this is great meeting residents, because I've been at multiple sessions before. I know a few of you have been at some of those, but this is the first time when it is solely residents on the Moonta mines. So it was a milestone last September, tentative listing. We've got another milestone coming up, because nominations that go forward to UNESCO have to have had an initial assessment. It's called a preliminary assessment. And New South Wales put one in. The first one for Australia was put in this year. It was the Parramatta Female Factory. It's to do with the convict sites. That was put forward by New South Wales into the system. It's in the system now. But the next one across Australia is Burra and Moonta. And right now, the signal that we've had, and I will be happy when a minister signs it off, but the signal that we've had from both state and the Commonwealth is that Burra and Moonta is going forward to have one of these preliminary assessments. Nothing is totally fixed. The one thing I would say is fixed is the areas concerned. Your state heritage area, it's in law, the same as at Burra. So those boundaries are fixed. So many of you are living already and have been living within that boundary. So we've been given the commitment that this preliminary assessment goes forward. The deadline to be received by UNESCO is the 15th of September. Our internal deadline with the council was to have this ready back in May, and then from the two, both Goyder and Copper Coast councils, that had then to go to the state, and then the state make comments and so on, and together with the team I helped integrate those comments, and then it's gone to the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth have integrated their comments, and the Commonwealth team have now done a briefing for your new minister, who then has to sign this off, and it has to be delivered to UNESCO.